Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Jesse.
Tonight, the Lokis meet the architect. We get some doppelganger love. Mm-hmm. My phone is interrupting my intro. Amateurs. And in other shows, we learn that hashtag doppelganger lives don't matter. What? But first, how's it going, you two?
Pretty good.
Going well.
So, yeah, tonight we'll be discussing the feature topic, of course, is Loki episode 6, the final episode of season number 1 of at least 2 we've learned.
Mm-hmm. Spoilers.
That does seem like a spoiler, but that's headlines. So I did see that.
They kept that thing hush hush, and they were like shrouding it in mystery, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a really
We're not going
good...
to confirm it, but we're not going to deny it.
Right. Actually, that is spoilers. I shouldn't have said it.
Right off the top.
We'll try to avoid more spoilers till we actually start talking about Loki.
Yeah, and then we're going to spoil it, so be prepared.
Everyone dies!
And we watched
season 2.
Yeah, that's right. There will actually be death, because there doesn't seem to be any death this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one character died last episode. Maybe.
Oh God, everything's a spoiler. I would have reincarnation, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So, about the other stuff I was talking about, I know Melanie and I have watched a few things. We finished a show we've mentioned before on the show. We watched a couple movies, so we'll talk about that briefly. I won't talk about Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Or else this will be going.
The embargo stands.
It's a self-imposed embargo. Okay, I don't know any secrets about the future Doctor Who stuff.
That's true.
But since I'm in it, I can't wait. When is it coming? I don't care if it sucks. Give me more Doctor Who.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. So normally I'd be saying hi, Savannah, hi, Paul, but I'm not getting any comments in right now. So
I know that Paul was heading to Crypticon in Kansas City. So
yeah,
if he's there, he may not be at a place where he can view us tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what Savannah's doing, but I know she was out of power for way longer than we were out of power. So several days at least. So I don't know. Maybe, hopefully she's gotten it back by now. If not, then that's ridiculous. But not yesterday, but the day before for sure. I know she still was out. Yeah,
there was a kind of a wicked storm that blew through a few days ago now.
Yeah.
And big chunks of Omaha lost power for a long time. Like
100,000 customers, approximately, lost power in Omaha. Yeah.
Amazingly, I did not, and I'm glad.
Well, you were like at the beginning of it, and then it picked up power going over your flat area, and then blew into Omaha. A tree hit my car, but it didn't really do any damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those trees are terrible drivers.
I know. Just going wherever, all willy-nilly.
It's called a turn signal, tree. Use it.
I'm retweeting at Jesse Kiefer on Twitter from the at Grawlix podcast account so that I don't have to actually type it up.
It's like a variant. It's like a variant Twitter account. Weird.
Right.
Everything's a variant.
So we're going to go put it to work then?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right. So anyway, this is starting off awkwardly, but I feel unfocused, and I'm trying to figure out what I need to. There's something I'm forgetting.
Well, you think about it. How about we see? Hey, Jesse, did you watch anything?
nothing super interesting. I've been continuing what I've been watching, which is that Netflix documentary series about pop music. And so now we're up to music festivals and Britpop.
Woo!
Thing. So basically, the episode was about Blur and Oasis. That's pretty much the whole episode.
I don't really know anything about Blur, except that it's Damon Albarn, I think that's how you pronounce it, is in there, and he is freaking amazing.
Right.
I like
they're a great band, and like I mean, but they're also Gorillaz, you know, like is it Damon who is Gorillaz?
He's Gorillaz, along with an artist. And then he's also just did some weird random solo stuff that I like too. Like Closet Romantic is like this weird, like creepy polka type song, but I love it.
I feel like he won the war, you know, like Oasis was arguably I don't even know if it's an argument. Oasis was the bigger band out of the two, but at least over here they were. But he is doing more things. Like what are the Gallaghers even doing? Are they doing anything? I'm sure they're doing something, but
yeah, no, I know so many people who like Gorillaz, and from what I've heard from people that worked with him on some of the albums, he's like a legend to a lot of people, to a lot of younger people that are coming up in the business, because he'll take them in and show them things that like teach them, you know, he's a great mentor for people. And that's exciting.
Yeah, it was an interesting episode because I don't know a lot about Britpop at all. Other than, you know, Oasis and Blur were big for a little while, and all we ever knew was like the post grunge Blur, that whole woohoo.
Yeah.
Cool.
Randy? Did you figure it out, Randy?
Yes. So a few things that we watched. I mean, I didn't figure out what I'm forgetting, but I got stuff ready to talk about. A few things we watched. First, I'll start with something that is not super Grawlixy, but The Hunt. It's a movie, came out last year. It was a movie that got delayed for several reasons, like a couple times. It did eventually hit theaters, I think, in 2020, and then finally hit, I think, HBO Max now. And it was initially delayed because it's a satirical type movie, but it's also hyper violent. Come on, it's good, it's gory, but like
a little bit of the ultra violence.
Yeah, kind of, but it's like gleeful violence. It's not make you feel bad violence necessarily. It's like horror movie violence where it's kind of fun, right? And I think listen, if you delayed a movie release for every school shooting, there'd never be movies again.
Right.
But just saying.
Dark. Yeah, you're right, but dark.
But it was initially scheduled around, I don't remember what weekend, and then there was I think a school shooting or some type of shooting, and the studio's like, oh, this is violent. People are going to get upset. But this is a movie that caught my eye because there was some controversy, because it's a dark comedy in which ultra progressive elites kidnap a bunch of conservative internet trolls and then hunt them for sport.
Wow.
It's
wow.
And it's purely the kind of, and I don't know why it would be controversial, because it's very on the nose. I mean, it's commentary, right? But it's so on the nose, and it's kind of taking the crap out of both sides.
Right.
They're like, there's very crappy people on both sides.
Right. And those liberal gun nuts are worse than the ones on the right.
Right. So it's fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's a little forgettable because I actually was like, what was that movie we watched? What was it? It took me like 5 minutes before I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's not super memorable. but it's an interesting watch. There's definitely some surprises. It
Mm-hmm.
does more than a few times. This is a slight spoiler, but it's all kind of early in the movie. More than a few times you start following characters that you're like, okay, so this is our main character. It's not. So
Yeah.
it does that a couple times. It does the old Janet Leigh on you a couple times. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a reference to Psycho for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Kids who don't know.
Those noobs.
Or you could be like Scream for younger people, like with the what's her name?
No, you can't. You can't.
Sydney.
Of course, though, I guess if you look at posters and stuff, it's not hard to figure out like kind of who the main character is.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Scream is probably too much of a deep cut even for the kids these days.
That's true. Sad.
I wonder. Here
Oh.
we go. This is okay. I'm gonna share some images. Sorry, podcast listeners in the future.
Show
He's
us.
not sorry. He's
This
not
is
sorry.
This is a great one because this is a good poster
Wow.
because it even like they're like nope, never mind. This is the poster itself pokes fun at getting canceled,
Mm-hmm.
getting the release delayed and stuff.
I maybe I'm slow. I never did get why the pig was there. What was the pig for?
So they could talk about Animal Farm, I guess.
Oh, okay.
The pig's named Orwell, which
Oh.
you know.
But they could have just talked about Animal Farm if they wanted. They didn't have to have a pig there. But whatever.
Because that made it a little weird, I guess. Made it more surreal.
If there's gonna be a pig in a movie, I want it to be Nicolas Cage's pig, and I want it to be questionable what he does about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a good chunk of the movie to figure out who this was, and I had to look it up. It's the one chick from Glow. It's the
Oh yeah,
like what
The-
is it?
the
apple
exec-
pie.
yeah.
Yeah,
The American.
I can't remember
something.
her name, her character's name. She is amazing in this, I think.
Yeah.
Because she's so weird. She plays it
Super weird.
almost off-putting. She
Mhm.
looks like she. It's interesting thinking about her in this and then her in Glow, where in Glow she's almost like she's not like upper class, but she's almost like too good for wrestling and all that. And in here, she's very southern, but also like I don't know, almost antisocial. It just
Mm-hmm.
she holds her face in a way oftentimes that looks like she's in pain or constipated or something. She just plays it so strange, but
Mhm.
really good. I
Yeah.
thought. Like I kind of think she's the best part of the movie.
She is
She
for sure.
plays Debbie, who also
Debbie.
plays Liberty Bell,
That's it. Obviously still doing it like a southern thing there.
a southern thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst part of this movie is Hilary Swank, and that's just because I don't like Hilary Swank. But
Paul says new Hillary Swank movie. I mean, I can't believe this movie took so long. Here it is, like July. I can't believe it took so long to hit streaming, but I think they were.
It was too swanky for us on streaming.
I think since it kind of like, well, what? It was then rescheduled for March 13th. That would have been leading right into COVID.
yeah, exactly.
So I'm thinking they probably held it back to kind of make as much on digital rentals and purchases as they could before it hit streaming.
And they didn't want us to hunt for it.
Yep.
Anyway, it's worth. I'd recommend it. It's not rated super high, but it's also the kind of movie that's I could see turning a lot of people off. It's not amazing, but I thought it was entertaining.
It was.
Hilary Swank is not in it much. If you're not a Hilary Swank fan like Melanie, but I don't know, the way it handles her, it gives her like a big reveal, and it's like her name was on the poster, and also she's not Sigourney Weaver. She doesn't get that kind of like, oh, the camera swivels around and you're supposed to be like, oh, it's Hilary Swank. Like they could do that for every movie Sigourney Weaver's in. You can't do that for Hilary Swank. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, she's won some awards, but she was also the next Karate Kid, so there you go.
I was almost going to go there. I was like, I mean, I'd be happy to see her in the next season of Cobra Kai, which is nominated for an Emmy. Emmy? An Emmy.
Emmy.
Nominated as a best comedy or whatever.
That's more prestigious in
Mm-hmm.
Emmy.
The Emmy.
Yeah.
The Anemone Awards. It's just shaped like a thing.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, I never did see Next Karate Kid. Maybe she's great in it. I don't know, but I just don't like her.
Melody, she kept like, oh, I hate her. She's the worst. I'm like, Melanie, that's the next Karate Kid.
That's the next Karate Kid. She is certainly not the worst part of the next Karate Kid.
Really? Wow.
Well, the bad guys are so. I mean, if you thought the Cobra Kai were cartoonish or outlandish, like the Alpha Elite, are ridiculous.
I don't even remember.
They're ridiculous. They should have just been in prison for existing. Like they just drop from the ceiling of a school dance, and everybody's just letting them do it. They're like in tactical gear, and they just drop from the ceiling, like rappel out of nowhere, and everybody's just like, oh, there's those Alpha Elites again. Boys will be boys, and then go on. I had to just continue the dance like nothing happened.
You know what? You reminded me. Don't make me angry, people, because you know why I don't like Hilary Swank? I'll tell you why. Because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. She is a friend of Buffy, and she's she's mean, and I don't like her. I don't like her from that, and so I don't like her in anything ever after that. For the rest of time, I will hate Hilary Swank because of her role in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So there you go.
Is it like a Ben Affleck thing where you see like he plays a jerk, but he plays the jerk maybe too well, so you're like, I don't trust that guy.
I bet he's a jerk in real life.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and I don't like Chad Lowe either, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, so you
This
don't
kind of
make
like
her
the
angry
kid
people.
the kid who played Joffrey in the Game of Thrones. It's like he basically has to quit acting because he's a little too good.
Is it? I don't know. I just he's riding on his brother's coattails or whatever. That's what I think. Let's move on though.
Well, if we're going to move on, then we need to talk about Fear Street Part 2, 1978.
Yeah, let's do. I like this one much better than the first one.
Yeah, we talked about it must have been last week, right? We talked a little bit about Part 1. This one, yeah, I agree. Much better. They're still like, in my opinion, I think Melanie might have disagreed with me on this a little bit, but there's still, I feel like it has the problem where most dialogue just serves the purpose of exposition. There is a little bit more character stuff.
Way more character stuff,
which I think is what you were saying. Yeah. I would agree with that, but there's still kind of some sloppy exposition. That said, it's cool. It's a camp slasher. Takes place in 1978. Most of the movie, it has kind of the framing narrative of the characters from the first movie because it's an ongoing story, kind of. But
with a name like Camp Nightwing, I would assume that it's Robin from the first movie. A little bit.
Nightwing is not a good name for it just because of that. And I know that's just because we've read comic books.
Yeah.
But it's not great because I was like, how are you going to call that Nightwing? Come on. It's distracting.
Call it Camp Grayson. That's his real name.
It's got, I don't know, this lady, and it's got Max from Stranger Things. And because she was in Stranger Things, so she has to be.
So she's typecast now.
She's got to be in the 70s, 80s period pieces.
Yeah.
You may be a modern girl, but you'll forever be the 80s from now on.
That's okay. She looks good. She looks good in 80s and 70s ish clothes.
Right. I agree.
It's the stripes. Stripes look good on her.
And I think she's pretty decent. I think she's a good actor, and she's pretty decent in this. Paul says he's looking forward to doing a complete dive once they're all out because there's one more movie coming out. It's a
trilogy.
It's a trilogy.
Risky.
It's kind of interesting. I really am kind of fascinated by the format of it because it's a series. It's it's a series where it's essentially one ongoing story, a little bit pieces told a little bit out of order. Like there's movie length flashbacks essentially, but it's also got an anthology feel because of the different settings. At least first two anyway. I don't know what the third one's going to hold. It looks a little different, but these first two are definitely like, the last one was very Scream callback, you know, slasher. This one's definitely got the camp slasher thing. I don't know. The difference, this feels less slashery. It is a slashery, but like when you think about it, you kind of know what's going on already from the first movie if you've watched the first movie. So the slasher aspect doesn't have any mystique to it. I don't know. It's whatever. Enjoyable.
Yeah, it is enjoyable, and that's also part of the reason that I think that they definitely focused way more on the people, and several different people and their different relationships, and then the other one, the main people, even they didn't, I think, really focus enough on them. And here they have like side people that they spent a lot of time on. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true, and it does benefit from. Okay, there was exposition, but it does benefit from not having to do the huge exposition dumps that they did in the first movie.
Yeah, and part of it I think is the setting, because they have that the setting explains a lot of the situation itself, you know.
Well, and when there is exposition, because there is still a lot to kind of forward, like you learn more about what the first movie set up. But yeah, it's tied more into the location and the plot of this better than the exposition dumps in the first movie. And what did I give this? I think I gave this 3. I give both I like this one a little bit better than the first one for sure. I give them both 3 because for like slasher cred, what do you need for slasher? Story doesn't matter. You need it shouldn't be just totally boring or eye rolling, and it needs gore. And this goes like the first one. There was at least one notable kill that was shocking and super gory, and this one, it's the first kill is super gory and kind of it's jacked up. It's very hardcore, and I was like, wow, that's that's a face axe murder. That's horrible.
Yeah, but they had less gory kills in this one, but that's for good reason, because it would upset people if they did go gory with some of it. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's reasons. But still, the few that they did actually show, were great and gory.
Right. So that's a recommend. That's a kind of a recommend. If you like slashers, definitely check it out. If you like somewhat cheesy, I feel like these are fairly well made. Not the best, like in terms of like cinematography, but not bad. But if you like kind of cheesy horror, you know, it's Fear Street, right? If you know Fear Street, you kind of know what you're in for, I think.
Yeah, but I wouldn't watch this one unless you watch the first one first.
Right. Oh yeah, no. It's kind of like jumping into. Yeah, it's very serial. It'd be like watching Endgame and not watching any of the Marvel stuff before. You're just like, what's happening?
Right.
I mean, I think they kind of like restate the basics enough, and they do. There's even like a previously on segment, right? Which is like, that's not a standalone movie if you had to do a previously on, but a mini series of sorts or a trilogy of movies. That's one pretty cool format, and I wouldn't mind seeing more stuff like that.
Yeah,
because that's what Marvel, that's what Disney's kind of acclimatized us to anyway, right? Or just TV in general, where they have big enough budgets where, like at a certain time, TV definitely was competing with movies.
Right.
They have big enough budgets where they can have. I mean, they're not doing Marvel movie budgets, but like the quality's there. But it's a serial story, and you don't have to wait a year to 2 years between installments like you do with like Marvel stuff sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you'd have to wait like 6 years, not 6 years really, but 6 years between seasons. It's an exaggeration, but still.
Yeah, that's true though. That's true. And then once you get into like Adult Swim series, it's like the show's been going for 14 years. There's 3 seasons.
Right, but I was actually even thinking like HBO, like Game of Thrones or what's
Westworld.
Yeah, exactly, like those. They're super well made, and they spend a lot of money on it, but it takes a while to get that level of good. So there's a few years in between seasons, a couple maybe.
Even Doctor Who, and I'm not getting into Doctor Who again, but even Doctor Who, where they'll take a year off, come back for a Christmas special or a New Year special, and then take another year off. It's like, that's 2 years. You can throw us one bone of a special episode. That's not going to cut it. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. I don't like that.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about, or are we good?
Real quick. Melanie and I finished Katla because I've got to explain my doppelganger comment, or at least reference it. We finished Katla, which was that series. I think it's Icelandic. It takes place in Iceland, where like there's a volcano that's been kind of erupting, like an underglacial volcano thing, and then maybe people start showing up that shouldn't be there. Maybe there's already those same people there, without giving away too much. But we finished it, and it's kind of great.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird and wonderful. That's my take on it.
Yeah. The ending is good. It's satisfying. I definitely don't. It does not seem like a show that they did not set up another season. It seems like a one and done season of a show. The production's good. The characters are weird,
super weird,
and at times very frustrating because it's just like, why would you? No, what are you doing? Why would you react that way?
Right.
But it's not like horror movie, like people being dumb to forward the plot. It's just a really weird decision to make certain characters act the way they do. But I think, especially once you get towards the end, you're like, okay, well, it's because they're trying to make a point or set up a certain thing. It does have it does have an explanation for why weird things happen. So
yeah, well, kind of, but yeah,
right.
It's things we don't understand. That's it. That's kind of an explanation, right? But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's weird. The people are strange, but it's also Iceland. So, they have the happiest people in the world. So maybe it's just that they're also chill there, that it's really realistic, and we don't know because we live in America where everything's crazy.
Right. That could be. Maybe them looking just morose the whole time. Maybe that's their like exuberant joy face.
Yeah, could be.
That's their joy face.
Like, what are you talking about? This is us when we're happy. We're so content.
Well, I mean, consider they're running around during like giant ash storms and like having to put down their cow that got out, because it's poisoned now. They still seem like they're in a decent mood to me. So
the story is interesting.
Yes, without caffeine.
The story is interesting. The characters, even though many of them act in ways that I'm like, what are you doing, are well realized. And the production, like the setting, though, the setting is fascinating.
Awesome. Yeah, it is.
Is this also the country that we got rare exports from?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
I love rare exports, too.
Yeah, rare exports. Rare exports is great.
Just the vibe of that movie is like, whoa.
It's weird.
Like, so chill. And he just has like this Burmese tiger trap. Like, why do you have a Burmese tiger trap? Did you know you were going to catch a Santa?
Tonally, rare exports is so weird because, especially once you get to the end, you're like, this seemed like a weird, like melancholy horror movie. But then you get to the end, you're like, but I think it's supposed to be a children's movie.
Yeah.
With all these like dirty
the
old
spirit of
naked
Christmas and
Santas
everything.
running around. Like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rare Exports is great.
Which they herd into a pen. Feed, water, and take your Santas for a walk, I guess.
Paul says sounds like a Fallout movie. I'm not sure if you're referencing what we were talking about just now or Katla.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like Fallout the game Fallout, but man, it looks like there's just Fallout happening constantly. Everything's gray and dead, and it's just like ash and snow all the time. Pretty cool.
Yep.
I mean, you know, maybe not to actually live in it, but
Right.
okay, that's it. That's all I got. I didn't even pull up any pictures for that. Oh well. That's all I got for that. I don't think there's really much else we watched.
Nope. It's time to move on anyway.
Oh, yay. We love Twitch spam. Let me just
Twitch spam. That's how you know we're on Twitch. You can't be on Twitch without
What?
Twitch spam.
Twitch.tv/Grawlix podcast, by the way.
I don't. If you buy followers, I don't really think you're famous.
Want to become famous? No. Yeah. Want to get famous?
Want to trick the algorithm?
Yeah. It's polls. Do polls.
I think that's the...
That's just YouTube, actually.
Where is... I don't use Twitch enough. I can't... Not content.
Maybe block that.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to get to the...
He
like
has
the
lice.
chat moderation.
I think that's the person's name is I have lice. I have lice.
Anyway. So Melanie or Jesse, either one of you guys, Loki episode 6, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Loki episode 6.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, well, one of you guys.
That was a weird moment for you to get amnesia completely.
It comes on quick.
Yeah.
Quick. No, I'm trying to find. I'm trying to moderate this Twitch chat over here, and there's so many menus. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
You should be able to just like click on it and be like, "You're done. You're fired."
Manage stream. The problem. Here we go. I don't want to. The problem I'm having is because we use StreamYard, and it just routes it over there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There we go. I'm here.
I'm here
All right.
too. I'm
So
here for you.
one of you guys, please talk.
Yes. So this is the last episode of Loki, season 1, as we spoiled earlier. And it's interesting.
Okay, we should also thank you. We should also give a. Even though we just talked about Loki, or even though we just spoilers. Okay, even though we just started talking about Loki, we got to do spoiler warning off the top.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, sorry. Bye.
Yeah, nothing retains your viewership like
Telling them
alienating anybody that hasn't seen it yet.
So the very first thing that I noticed and loved, that like floating castle thing, whatever it is, the building that they have to go to, it's so pretty, and the background is so pretty. The time stream is so pretty. I want to live there. I think it's amazing and wonderful.
It's kind of like being in the TARDIS. Seeing all of time and space out there in the vortex.
Well, it spun around like vortex, so that was interesting too, because where there was like no beginning or end of it, it was a circle, which I found kind of fascinating myself. And yeah, reincarnation, somebody had mentioned earlier, and I was thinking of that also with the whole the circle. When they got inside, I yeah, I was really surprised to see another person from Lovecraft Country, because you see another person from Lovecraft Country. I like that show.
First, you get Miss Minutes. Like I was like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, is Miss Minutes going to be the big bad here?
No, that would have been fun, but silly.
She was creepy though.
Yeah, she was creepy, but she's got to be like, like a computer program or a computer program in hologram form, whatever. I would imagine.
Creepy AI.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, can you imagine if like the keeper of time and like the ruler of all this stuff was actually a cartoon character? That'd be nuts.
It's like a reverse Roger Rabbit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like a regular Roger Rabbit thing. Spoilers for a movie that's really old.
Right.
Hey, Twitch, I know you're listening. Your moderation tools suck when you're not a big channel and you just have like a dude who's doing the stream and trying to like moderate. Why can't I just click on the comment and delete it or block it immediately from there? Why do I have to go through a whole rigmarole?
Because they want people to feel like they can speak without being censored.
They want you to sign up for the big, expensive pro channel thing or whatever.
Oh.
They don't care about censorship on Twitch. What are you talking about? So Clock Lady jump scare made Melanie jump, and it was magical.
It did. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I love that they did a jump scare with whatever. They're walking into the castle, and all of a sudden, she just like pops into the screen. It's just like, hey, and Melanie jumped, and it was pretty good.
I'm a sucker for jump scares, dude. I can't help it. Everywhere, anywhere, in comedies, that I will get a jump scare. Yeah, it happens. I don't know.
You don't have to re-say what you said, but what have you guys talked about? I seriously had to put all my attention in dealing with
we basically just talked about entering the castle. And so essentially we talked about the fact that you see Miss Minutes right off the bat, and then you see another person from Lovecraft Country. And we didn't get any further than that.
I mean, and to be fair, that's kind of the whole episode.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly, or not, not totally, but
there's a lot of just monologuing in this episode. So
oh man, so what is his name? Let's just go ahead and talk about him now. People have he
who remains is his official name in this episode,
right? And you can hear my typing. I know you can.
Clicky clack.
It's fine. I'm feeling salty. I want to find his Jonathan Majors.
Mm-hmm.
Seems so likable. In Lovecraft Country, he's interesting too because he's kind of intense, and not necessarily making all the right decisions, but still seems super likable. And here, even though he's kind of the villain, man, he's so fun. He's very fun to watch. It is a great surprise when he just shows up and he's like, just eat an apple, and so super nonchalant and casual, which is the whole thing. And I feel like that can backfire. Uh-oh.
What?
Did we lose Jesse?
No, he's there.
Okay. Well, I see.
Sorry, guys. I'm addressing TikTok at the same time, so I
forgot you had TikTok going on.
We mentioned it earlier in the episode, but I hadn't actually addressed them yet, and so I was like, "Hey, just to let you guys know on TikTok what we're doing. We're talking about the finale." So,
well, welcome. Want to hear we complain about Twitch?
Yes, Twitch is the worst.
No, but So I liked this episode 6. I liked it a lot, actually. And I found Jonathan Majors to be a delight. He was very fun.
I agree. He was great. I do like the episode. I was a little disappointed, maybe, in one of the Lokis, but also, the whole set. I mean, I understand the dilemma, but it's annoying to me. It's an annoying dilemma because I think people will make decisions based on what I think are selfish reasons, and luckily that didn't happen. So I'm excited to see what does happen then next.
I mean, listen, she was upfront about what she wanted to do.
That's very true.
I think our Hiddleston Loki is selfish.
Mm-hmm.
No, not necessarily. Well, I find that interesting. So since we are well into spoilers, and if you're listening now, I'm assuming you've watched the show, so we don't really have to like waste a whole lot of time on talking about what is happening in the episode. What do you guys think? Do you think? I mean, this is kind of a stupid question, but Hiddleston Loki, think he was being upfront on the level?
Yeah, I think he was fine. I think he was not wrong that maybe they should take some time to think about things, but I don't think that she was wrong in what she did either.
Paul says it better be good payoff in season 2. We got played. I feel I don't. That's interesting. I can see why people would be upset because we got lots of answers because they went Matrix Architect mode and gave us the man behind the curtain, but give him like a whole episode to monologue his evil plan, which wasn't really. I mean, it kind of was, but it's big exposition dump, but it's delivered entertainingly, I thought. We don't get like the resolution, but the fact that it does end with like returns in season 2, I was like, okay, cool. I'll take a cliffhanger if it means more of this show. I'm a little worried about like what a season 2 of the show would be, but I'll take it. I don't necessarily feel played.
What did you think? I mean, like we've only referred to him as He Who Remains, but what did you think of it? Because like going into it, what did you expect? Did you expect that we'd get what we got? Did you expect that we'd get something different but similar? Or did you expect something completely different? Because I honestly thought we were going to get like somebody pre-existing in the show that we'd seen so far, but maybe as a variant. So like a variant of Loki was a popular theory that a lot of people were playing around. I was starting to think that maybe we'd get a variant of Renslayer because it was like, oh, well, she's kind of set up to be the big bad. She seems like she knows more than she's letting on. And just it got to a point where I was like, maybe it's Renslayer, you know, and that would still be a tie-in to Kang, the Conqueror.
Right.
And so that seemed like the most obvious choice to me, toward like getting closer and closer to this thing. And then we got what we got. And I'll just speak plainly. I was impressed because I honestly didn't see that coming. Like, I saw that story beat, that story setup coming where it's kind of like, I'm doing this to avoid, you know, I'm doing all of this to save you, to save myself from Kang the Conqueror. I'm trying to hold that back because that's worse than anything that I could have done, right?
Right.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad it's somebody I wasn't like. It's essentially a new character. I mean, it's a character. It appears to be a character everybody was kind of expecting,
right?
Or lots of people were expecting, but not being familiar with Kang, and again, the way the actor portrayed it goes a long way into my enjoyment of it. If it was just some random dude who had to monologue for 20 minutes and his delivery sucked, totally different.
Right.
But I'm kind of glad it wasn't just like it's a evil Loki. I'm kind of glad it didn't go that way.
Yeah, me too.
They could have made that work, but it would have felt a little bit like okay.
It's maybe not.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's maybe not as cool as an evil cartoon clock, but still pretty good.
Right. It was Miss Minutes the whole time.
Like, I was impressed that they went there. Like, I was like, and that I didn't see it coming. I did not see that eventually. It's like they set the whole series up. Like, it should have been obvious. Like, this could have always been a possibility. Of course, this is what could happen, right? But it just didn't even enter my mind that it would be a variant.
Mm-hmm. It's like Sliders. Only like the Cro-Mags were not there. It was just more of the same guy, you know, whatever his name was, Quinn or something. More of that guy, and he's a douche, you know. It's like that. I like it.
I wonder.
You mean the national treasure, Jerry McConnell?
Yes, that guy.
So he never refers to his name himself. Like, yeah, he, as I think Jesse said, you know, he refers to himself as several things, but never gives a name. But we know he has been cast as Kang in the next Ant-Man movie.
Yes,
which is interesting. So, but then again, as he explains, like, could be an infinite versions of him,
right?
And somehow he, I guess, by isolating the one timeline that he's from, has negated all of them, and without him there to do that, well, they're all going to be back because the timelines are going to split. There's going to be him. He's going to discover all this, and it's going to start again. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder what's Sylvie's. I know her thing was basically revenge, but like, then what? What is her?
I think that's what she's dealing with too. At the end of this whole thing is like, it's that classic thing of like, what do you do after you have revenge? And now she's gonna face it. Like, well, I got what I was after all along, but now what?
I think I know what a solution would be personally. For their conundrum is, instead of, you know, having the TVA go out and kill or prune or whatever they call it, all these like worlds and people and things, just go find the hymns as they pop up and get rid of them. That's all you have to do. It's like, you know, you have to look at what is that called? The greater good, sure, but killing, you know, entire universes is not going to be good for everybody. It's good for the one. You gotta kill the one guy, so it's good for the other universes. That's my opinion.
By the way, hey Dana, what's going on? Dana asks, are they in the quantum realm?
Well, that's what they've kind of been hinting, is that well, I don't know who's been hinting it. Probably just the internet. That the TVA exists outside of the universe, so that, I guess, could be in the quantum realm.
Oh, so that's where Ant-Man comes in, eh?
Yep. Also confirmed, Greta Thunberg, Marvel superhero.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed like all the little, you get the little sound bites and clips from a bunch of the different movies and stuff as like the intro credits flies through various realities. And then, yeah, there are some, Melanie pointed it out. I didn't catch her. I actually rewatched the episode today. I didn't catch it the first time, but there's also some real world clips in there. Greta Thunberg's voice is in there. It's interesting. It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, trying to tie it to the real world, huh?
Exactly what we need, more real world.
Right.
Do you think they would ever play it that way though, where there's like, because comics will do that. I've seen Doctor Who comics specifically do that, where, you know, there's multiple universes, and one of the universes is us,
right?
Like the actual real world, and occasionally a comic book character.
Well, yeah, there was that one.
I'm a comic book character in your world.
Right.
I remember that. You know, looking at watching VHS tapes of their adventures.
Right.
They also did that in Supernatural, where like they jumped into the other dimension where they are actually a TV show. So they're on the Hollywood set, and like the Winchester brothers, the one Winchester brother is like, "What are you, Polish? Come on!" Like because his last name is Padalecki. It was like, what kind of name is that? What are you, Polish?
That's fun. There was a Netflix show that I think maybe it just went 2 seasons. The OC? No, not the OC. The OA?
Oh, yeah.
Melanie, you remember that show?
I do. It was very weird. Yeah, it was only 2 seasons.
And they were definitely setting up another season, but then it got canceled. But like that show went full meta where because there's universe hopping in that show as well, essentially through the power of interpretive dance.
Yeah, I know, it's so strange.
And they ended up in what seemed like the real world where they're like, oh, there's versions of us, but they're actors that anyway. So that was at the very end of the last season of that show, but it got canceled. Yeah, that's fun, and I think kind of hard to pull off. I wonder if the MCU, I mean, I could see them doing fun nods, but I wonder if they'll ever go full on ridiculous with it like that. They've got Spider-Man's gonna be all kinds of alternate universe stuff. Apparently Ant-Man's going to tie into this whole like different timeline stuff. And I mean, Doctor Strange is in the multiverse of madness or whatever. So they're going to go. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. That was something I was thinking about too, because we had talked about it a little bit. He has the time stone, right? That's the one that he's in control over or whatever. But is it gone now because it was used to make the
I think so.
Whatever, the power glove thing. I know it's not what it's called, but yeah. Because they were supposed to go and put them all back. Right. But where they got it from was from the chick who gave it to him. So his just ceases to exist then?
Well, okay, so there's new toys that have come out, and it's not even for Doctor Strange, but it's for the new Spider-Man movie, and he's got the Eye of Agamotto, which was supposed to be the case that the Time Stone was in. So I don't know if the Eye of Agamotto is going to like revert to like an MCU version, or not an MCU version, like a comics accurate version of the original one, or what, like, what does it mean? I don't know.
Yeah, because
toys spoiling movies, man.
Dude, all the time they're doing that with, especially like the comic book movies where they have like, obviously all kinds of toy licensing deals. Yeah. Man, they're all the time spoiling twists and characters.
Like we already know several Spider-Man suits for the next movie because of these toys that are already released.
But it'd be interesting if he did have it. He probably won't then, you're right. But have the time stone. How does that work with this? What's his name? He Who Remains or whatever. Does he trump him or something? I have the stone, so that's better than you or something.
Tempad or whatever they're calling it. Time pad.
I'm interested. Oh wait, no, I guess not, because in the TVA, they just use those like paperweights, so I guess not.
Right.
Huh. Weird.
Speaking of Spider-Man suit, I'm trying to... Where did it go? There it is. Yeah, here's something from, I guess, yesterday. Let me share screen. Okay. So that appears to be some type of possibly Doctor Strange crossover suit that is going to be from Spider-Man No Way Home. They think it seems to be a Doctor Strange crossover some kind.
That's ugly.
It is a bit, I feel. It is a bit.
And how are they going to put a web on top of a web? The little symbol on his shirt is a web. It's not there, but the other one it was.
They don't have it there.
Yeah.
What's his weapon of choice?
Oh my gosh.
That was really bad. That was bad. Not my best work.
The black and gold's okay. I'm not wild about the black and gold with the red in there. Now I'm just critiquing the suit. That's a toy. That's creepy. Is that really the face on the toy? It's like Uncanny Valley.
Really is. It's like a wax museum kind of thing.
Like it's really good, but at the same time horrifying. Wow. Okay. Toys are all the time ruining spoiling things. Great web design. Oh my God, Paul. All right. I know. Oh, real quick. It's becoming my catchphrase. Something about this episode that I did not care for was. It's so funny watching Jesse address his TikTok stream. Anyway,
I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the TikTok stream because I found out that they can't hear you guys at all unless unless I just have my volumes set up wrong. But
so that's pretty boring for him, huh?
Real boring for him.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I wonder if it's the volume.
If they can't hear me, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a fair question.
I'm the greatest. Suck it, not me's. Oh, that's when a variant Randy needs to walk in.
Yeah, so it just looks like me talking to myself like a crazy person. So
Sweet.
So TikTokers, I'll join you guys later. I am on Twitch, so if you guys want to actually see what it is I'm talking about ridiculously, you can go to the link in my bio. It's the first one right at the very top. Will take you to the Twitch that we're on right now.
Yep.
Hey, Harlem Knight, we're on Twitch. Go there. I'm gonna end this real quick. Thanks, you guys for popping in. I thought that this was working, and it was not. And everybody was like popping into the TikTok for a second, and then like disappearing. And it was like, it's because I look like a crazy person, which isn't too far off. But you guys know this, so. All right, we'll talk to you guys later, and I'll continue talking to you guys right now.
Well, see, no, that's going to be our secret. That's going to be our like marketing strategy going forward. We're going to do live streams as we are, except Jesse's side of the conversation will only be on TikTok, so you'll have to go over there and follow him to hear him. Mine will be on Twitch, so you'll have to go to Twitch to hear me. Melanie's, you'll be on Facebook or YouTube, I guess. You can. No, you'll be on Facebook, and then we'll kick YouTube to the curb.
Who needs YouTube? Not us. Not us. Hey, Harlem Knight. There we go. Now you can hear the whole conversation.
There we go. Hello. He's not crazy. There are other people here.
Man, so like I want to jump back to one of Paul's earlier jokes about time, like like TikTok and time and missed minutes and whatnot. Yeah. So time wasn't working correctly, according to Kang.
Right. I like
He likes our mixed cast idea. I think it's gold. We'll get so many listeners. They'll all stick around too. Everybody wants to have like their phone up and 3 tabs open to hear one conversation.
And they have to be synced correctly in order for anyone to understand what's going on.
God. Yeah,
you're like,
right.
There can't be any latency on anyone's cast because that would be awful.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Hey, time lapse.
Hey.
Oh, we got Brandon Lapani. What?
Brandon, it's been a dog's age. This is Nightwing speaking. Hey, we were talking about your camp earlier.
Camp Nightwing, yeah.
Yep.
There were no Batmans in that movie, by the way. Fear Street Part 2. Maybe. I don't know. The one guy, the boyfriend guy, he had a big head kind of like Robert Pattinson, so he could maybe be a Batman's. Big cranium.
So now that everybody is like joining into the chat, like has everyone seen Loki?
Yeah, I had like one more point to make, but I don't know how spoilery it is. I'll try to be not spoilery. I love this episode of Loki, episode 6. That's what we're talking about. The one thing I wasn't super wild about this episode was Mobius. Like he's great, but like what a big nothing burger like that.
Right.
And I feel like it was maybe played for a laugh, He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop you," type deal,
Yes.
and then just like,
I'm the hero
no,
today.
I'm
gonna save the TVA right now.
It's like, I think it was supposed to be comical. I don't know, but and you know his character's still a joy also. So like his reaction to it, just he's like, he almost goes Eeyore. He's like, "Oh, down here again." It's like he's just like, "Fine, I failed."
Yeah.
But that's a little bit of a disappointment. But then again, we're like, what's he gonna do? He's just gonna go back and,
I don't know. I thought. I mean, I guess there was a little bit of forwarding of the one chick's story, that was running the TVA. I can't remember her name.
Renslayer.
Yeah, there's a little bit of forwarding of her, or adding to her story, I should say. But other than that, anything that wasn't taking place in the castle, it kind of seemed like it didn't really need to be there.
Yeah. It was interesting that in order to convince, who was it that they were trying to convince? It was the other hunters. They were like,
yeah.
"Hey, the only way I can convince you that there's something up is to take you to this high school that Renslayer used to be the principal of."
right. Effective, but yeah, it's kind of weird. I love TVA crashers. Is there a? Oh, is that like wedding crash? I'm trying to get Paul's joke.
Right.
Loki season 2 TVA crashers. Is that like a wedding crashers joke because of? I'm
gonna guess yes.
Listen, they can't all be winners. It's fine.
Careful, I almost nunchucked you.
Oh,
It's really my only favorite line in that whole movie is.
I've never watched.
I just about nunchucked you. I've got nunchucks here. Did you see them?
I love the music of this show, by the way. There's it changes, like not every bit of background music I enjoyed as much as some of the others, but man, overall, like some sweet synth action in this episode, man. The music's so good. Last episode too, like the music that built up towards the end of last episode was pretty fantastic. Cool music. The show has a lot of the flavor that I feel like kind of got established. I mean, it's when the MCU goes galactic, weird galactic sci-fi. It's got that Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, super colorful, almost Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't remember the music going this way, but Thor Ragnarok definitely had the synth stuff going on. Like it's got that flavor to it, to this whole season, and I like that a lot.
How did you feel about how it ended? Did it feel like it ended? Was it satisfying? Because I'm hearing people who are like, "Ugh."
No, I mean it was. I'm not unhappy with it. It's a cliffhanger.
Right.
I feel like it's not supposed to be satisfying.
Right. I felt like it was like Empire Strikes Back satisfying. You know, like
right.
Everything is left in flux. Like Han's in carbonite, and Luke just lost a hand. He's alive, but he's, you know, like questioning everything now. The Empire is clearly on top.
I felt like it was more, for me at least, more like Inception with the top where they spin it and you don't know, and you're like, well, what does that mean? Well, who cares? It's over. It can mean whatever you want it to mean in your head. I felt kind of like that with it, and then they said there was going to be another season, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I can understand how a lot of people would want that for closure, but I thought it was fine without it.
I see Jesse chuckling, and I know which comment he's chuckling at. Paul says, like he kissed his sister, satisfying.
No, not that kind of satisfying.
I mean, genetically, she's him, but like it would be pretty close to his sister.
It still
actually.
is. Yeah, you're right. It is still.
Okay.
What?
Empire.
Well, I mean, they're kind of like the same person. The Lokis are kind of like the same person. They were both making out with each other. So yeah, I suppose it could be that kind of satisfying if that's what you're looking for.
Feige insists on like a Star Wars reference in all the movies, and maybe that's translated over to the show, and they're like, man, I like this writer's room. I don't know who wrote this show, but I like the way they think. If they're like, well, what if?
Right.
He kissed his
sister. What if,
right.
indeed.
Right. Brandon says this leads into Doctor Strange 2. Yeah, and as Harlem Knight said, it's going to be interesting to see what the next season is going to be like, especially since the multiverse idea will continue into the upcoming movies. Yeah, it's hard to tell because if I'm assuming the season 2 won't be till after at least one or two of the upcoming movies. So I feel like whatever happens there will potentially change considerably what season 2 might be like. Mm-hmm. And there's no way it can be exactly more of the same. But
do you think they've already rolled into this next season production? I can't imagine that they've even started.
I wouldn't think so, but I wouldn't think so. I guess. Go ahead.
Do you think, since it is doing well, do you think they're going to use this as a way to bring Loki back into the main MCU universe? Because he's my favorite character.
Anything's possible now, Mm-hmm. Like literally anything is possible now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Well, I've heard speculation that he will be...
Like if they could afford it, Robert Downey Jr. could come back. They can't afford it, so it won't happen.
Right. Yeah, but he had such a good deal. That's their fault for not expecting it to do well, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's speculation that Loki it's in Doctor Strange 2 or Spider-Man. I feel like it's probably not Spider-Man since that's still like a weird... Although who knows with Spider-Man, but like isn't that still in a weird licensing situation? So
it is, but like Marvel can essentially do what they need to by virtue of the deal that they penned. But also Sony has the ability to do some stuff too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Harlem Knight. Nope. The question is, which one is the main MCU? The one they're making movies and TV shows about.
Yeah.
I feel like since that is kind of the risk, right? It's a little bit like what we're talking about at the beginning of the season, although with all the stuff that's happened, I think it's changed now. But we're like, what does this really mean for like all the MCU stuff that we've watched at this point? Does it mean, not that we're really concerned about it. We're Doctor Who fans. Canon doesn't mean anything. Time travel ruins everything. It doesn't matter. Yeah. We can just deal with it. But what is it like? Does any of that really matter? Because things change. And I think it's just a matter of the main MCU, like all the TVA stuff following this Loki, he's already a mainline MCU Loki this whole time, but it still feels like we're just still in the it's all the MCU. So.
I think my favorite like Loki theory that's much ado about nothing is that they've never pruned a Hulk. There's no evidence that that's true, but they've never pruned a Hulk. There's also no evidence that they've ever pruned a Hulk, so who knows?
I would think if they did, he would die pretty quickly because he would get angry and he'd be big, and that'd be easy for whatever that cloud dog thing to spot.
Smoke monster. He would just run right into the smoke monster.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
You couldn't stop him from running into it. Hulk's in a weird spot. First off, Hulk's expensive. To have on the regular, Hulk's expensive if you're going to have him in Hulk form. But also, I believe Hulk is still, like, the reason we don't get Hulk movies specifically.
It's because Mark Ruffalo is weird.
Well, no, he is weird. I find him enjoyable, but
I do too. But
an unusual character.
Yeah,
like him as a person seems like an unusual character.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But there's licensing issues. Like some other company has a piece of him. Kind of like the Spider-Man.
He has
deal.
to show up in other people's movies. He can't show up in a Hulk movie.
Right.
Well, that's okay because so far every Hulk movie that I've seen was crap, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting. Paul says Marvel only owns his Avengers rights.
Mm.
So, is that why they're doing She-Hulk?
Well, I think they own She-Hulk.
Right, but
She-Hulk
I mean,
rights
so they can
because that's its own deal.
So they can do hulky stuff without worrying about like if they decide they could. I don't think they'd ever do a She-Hulk movie, but they could do a She-Hulk movie and do hulky stuff without worrying about stepping on Hulk right shoes.
Why wouldn't they make a She-Hulk movie? You know, they do like the picture lineup of the chicks. So obviously they're all for women now, right?
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the end game like line.
Oh,
right. Yeah. I mean, maybe. No, I don't know. I feel like maybe. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I believe they're doing the show. They're doing a series. If that was a real thing, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like
so.
I dreamt that? It's not even a thing I necessarily.
I saw an image for it, and it's supposed
and there
to be
was
Disney
casting
Plus,
news
right?
and stuff. Yeah.
It's not even like a Hulu thing, like
right,
a MODOK or
there
something.
is some weird Hulu things, aren't there?
Yeah, like MODOK, and then they were going to do a Howard the Duck. I don't know if that fell through, but
he was in cartoon form.
Shows.
Yeah.
Harlem Knight says, but Ed Norton. Do you think Edward Norton regrets being kind of a diva?
I think.
Or do you think he's just like?
No, he's kind of
Mark
Yeah,
Ruffalo,
he's got like a weird,
above all this.
almost pretentious. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a d-bag. So I mean,
He does seem to like to throw his weight around, and that usually causes problems. And I get whatever like you want. If you're going to be in a thing as an actor, I would think I'd want to make sure it's the thing that I was promised it was going to be. But he seems to like to get in there, and then I don't understand like actors who are like, do it this way. It's like, but you were hired as the actor, not the director. If you wanted to direct the thing or write it, get that job. So it's pretty weird when. Yeah,
you need to go take a lesson from Willem Dafoe. He's just the paint on the director's canvas. You do what they tell you to do, and you just be weird, and then it turns out amazing.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, Harlem Knight.
Yeah, thanks for dealing with the TikTok weirdness and jumping over onto that. So.
Figure it out sometime.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have more people to interact with.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought there was somebody. Oh, I don't remember what Paul was referencing now. William DeCreepy. Don't you dare! He is creepy.
His face is creepy, but he's cool.
He's a treasure. He's a planetary treasure. Just cast him in everything. Just put him in everything.
Oh, Paul, of course you're enough, but Randy has a lot of salt to spread, and if we put it in too much in one place, then it'll
shrivel up like a slug.
It's not good for your blood. Not good for your blood pressure either.
Right.
Yeah.
Too much salt.
So we got to spread it out amongst others. That's all. And with Savannah not here, not tonight.
Yeah. Listen, I'm toying with the idea of trying different time slots or days to see how viewership goes. Today's doing pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Mainly because Jesse pulls him in with his TikToks, his ticks and his talks. But generally, I don't like doing a live stream for one person. So, not that I don't like doing a live stream for Paul, but we need more. We need more Pauls. Pauls, you don't want to be alone.
We need Paul variants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need the TVA to get on that.
I'd call them the Paul bearers. We're starting. Yes. Trademark me. I own your likeness now. And so we're going to make a comic book and sell it to Disney.
I am a toy-sociopath.
Jesse the toy-sociopath and the Paul bearers. Anyway, we're creating our own alternate universe now. Okay, I don't have anything else to say about this episode. Overall, I enjoyed the season a lot. I thought it was great. It had like the one episode that we were like, I don't know, this is a misstep. Right. And it definitely didn't end up where I thought it was going to, but I'm not disappointed with where it's at.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course I don't
I am disappointed there was not more alligator Loki.
I'm disappointed there was no jet ski.
Yeah.
No jet ski. You know, they really missed an opportunity when Mobius saved Sylvie in that like in the void or whatever they were calling it.
Yeah.
He really should have saved her on a jet ski. That would have been like the perfect way to tie it in.
Pizza car? Wait, what
pizza car? Why?
Yeah.
Jet ski. Or even a jet ski car. I don't know what that would look like. The same, but it's got a jet ski instead of the pizza slice.
Wait, a jet ski car would be like a motorcycle or a 4-wheeler or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
An ATV.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't I feel bad for his, like, they didn't do his character justice in the ending. I'll say that. So they could have done that differently. But yeah, I thought it was a great season. I thought everything was wonderful. I was excited about it all, even the stupid stuff. And I was fine with the end, but I'm happy that they're going to do more just because I liked it so much.
Paul really doesn't like the end credit scene, the mid credit scene, which is hardly a scene at all. But I felt like it was more satisfying than Captain America taunting me for sticking around through the end credits of a Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's, for me, that was the worst mid credit end credit scene. It was like, really, I waited around to be, talked down to by Captain America. I used to like that guy.
Spoilers again. Paul says, I felt bad Mobius forgot his friend. Yeah, I mean, that is not a satisfying thing, but that is definitely a, like, setup for future stuff. Here's they're leaving it in a place where it's like, now we got to figure this out next season.
The odds are really stacked up against our hero.
Right.
Wait,
and
he forgot him?
Well, he didn't.
I thought it was.
He's in a different universe or something.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not. He didn't forget him. It's just a different him, right?
Chances are that other Mobius is still out there, sitting in that chick's office, like, I tried to burn it down.
Wow.
She is not trustworthy. Even when I feel like the writers who are writing her, telling her the truth, I don't trust her.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand her motivations at all, but that's okay. I guess I don't need to.
I mean, they got a whole other season to let us know, and it is kind of a fun little dangling plot thread where I'm like, what even is her deal now?
Yeah.
I definitely feel better if they hadn't announced there would be a season 2. Yeah, I'd be. By the way, if you heard that burp, I'm sorry, everybody. It just kind of happened. It's adorable, right? Like Rick.
Yeah.
Whereas like WandaVision, I guess wrapped up the main plot of this season, but then like left all this kind of dangling stuff, and it's just done. And we're not promised any WandaVision season 2. I'm assuming some of that stuff's going to carry over to movies, maybe, because she's definitely popping up in Doctor Strange. But like, as far as I know, Paul Bettany has not necessarily been signed on for anything at the moment that we know of that's been announced. So like, what's up with White Vision?
Yeah.
So what's the deal?
Right.
It's interesting. I know that they were going to like release them in a different manner, but it's almost like, thank goodness they released it the way they did, because these Disney Plus shows just trained me to have like no expectations by the time that I got to this one, because it's like WandaVision, you're expecting Mephisto, you're expecting a Doctor Strange tease at the end, you're expecting all this stuff. Nothing. And then you get Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and you're like, I don't know who I was expecting to show up in that, but it was like, maybe we'll see. Maybe Steve Rogers will just make a cameo at the end and be like, I knew it. I knew you were the Captain America. Like some kind of cameo. You're like, I have no expectations for this. And then when we got here, I was like, everybody's like, it's gonna be Kang. It's gonna be Kang. It's gonna be Kang. And I'm like, it's not gonna be Kang, guys. It's not. It's gonna be something else. It'll be Loki. They're gonna reference Kang. They're gonna set something up, maybe, but it's not gonna be Kang. And then he's there, and he's delicious.
it really is like troll training, like troll mentality style training of you, where because WandaVision sets up all these expectations and got people all like hyped, and then just stepped on all of them.
Even Quicksilver, you were like, that's Quicksilver. You were like, yeah, it's Quicksilver. No, it's Boner.
Right.
Yeah.
Ralph Boner, that's who that is.
And then Falcon and Winter Soldier was just like, I don't know. You don't need expectations. It's not relevant. No. And then this one's
some people were thinking a scroll reveal or something like that. I don't know.
Like, nah. It's Flag Smashers the whole time.
Flag Smashers.
Cool, yes. Guys. Cool.
You're great. Madripoor. I guess Madripoor was our reveal. We got Zemo with the hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got.
Interestingly, I feel like, I guess maybe conceptually some of WandaVision was weirder, but I feel like it was out there but still kind of reeled in, and this one isn't necessarily weird. It's just like big classic sci-fi concepts, just like diving headfirst into it, you know.
I don't know if WandaVision would have landed as well,
right,
if it were reversed.
No, right? I don't think it would have.
Right.
Honestly,
this would have. I'm gonna try to keep your mindset, Jesse, of like, just you can't, no expectations for anything, any of it. Just let it be, see what happens. But yeah, this would have set the bar way too high, given like that WandaVision did look weird and interesting. If it followed this, I would have expected more of WandaVision.
Right.
I agree.
So those movies, man. Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man, like, you guys, you better do it right, because okay, maybe I do have expectations. The bar's high from a TV show.
Right.
Do the movies right. I know Sam Raimi, I believe he's still he was the director of the next Doctor Strange. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If he's allowed to go, I don't know. Whatever. Sam Raimi, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from a Sam Raimi Marvel movie at all.
Right.
Like, I guess Spider-Man 2 is like the best thing you could hope for, right? But
right. They let him.
Right.
So Randy, did you get rid of the timer?
Hey, Melanie.
Yeah.
Maybe I forgot to set one.
Okay.
Maybe I looked and was like, oh, it's an hour and 20 in.
Yeah.
Hey, Melanie.
Hey, what?
What should we be amazed about?
It's gonna be real quick. They found a new method which involves some X-raying and some subatomic physics to decipher some 2,000-year-old texts that were buried in a library when the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. So that's super exciting. New techniques, because they can't open them up because they will break apart. They did try before, a couple of them, and they got destroyed. But now, so yeah, they're scanning them and like bouncing stuff off of them. You know, I'm not going to get into the sciencey stuff because I know people zone out. But so yeah, they can scan now, basically like kind of logs of scrolls, and read the ink inside. So that's amazing.
It's almost like, I'm sure it's very different than X-rays, but like a 3D X-ray almost, where it can.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna possibly get some new stuff that's actually some really old stuff. Some texts that we know existed, but we don't have any copies of them anywhere. They're pretty excited, and they think maybe some of those are going to be in there. So
it's an Necronomicon. Don't do it.
Maybe I didn't say every little bit exactly right.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. No, that's super cool. That's fascinating to find old texts. It's gonna be like, you up?
No, anyway. It was library, not a bedroom.
You up? You gotta whisper. Okay, it was a bad joke.
Yeah.
Moving on. Jesse, you got anything exciting you want to tell people about before we bounce?
Main thing is that over on TikTok, I've been doing it's kind of all kind of connected. I've been doing a challenge, and it's kind of a throwback. It's throwback to the Superior Comic Show challenge that we were doing way back in the day,
Oh,
the
right,
30-day challenge with Peter. Well, also Peter from Superior Comic Show is starting his own comic book, Balor, and he's got a Kickstarter going for it right now. So I posted the link in our Facebook, Grawlix Podcast Facebook group, and you can help him fund this comic book.
Cool.
He's got an artist lined up. I mean, he's got some artwork up there to show it off, and looks pretty cool. So I would encourage people to go check that out. And if you want to play along on the challenge, I'm posting that on Twitter and TikTok for sure. It's kind of originating on TikTok because that's where we're both more active right now. But I'm also posting it on Twitter when I remember.
I actually, I enjoyed those like kind of 30-day whatever challenge things. Yeah. It was one of the few times.
And the prompts are so perfect for TikTok. The only problem is like the format of one a day it's got to be almost more evergreen. You can't say like it's day 4. It's just like, here's the prompt, go for it.
Right.
Yes, this is the 4th prompt, but just go for it because it's evergreen.
Cool. Go check it out. Where can if they want to follow you on TikTok, Jesse, how do they do that?
It's at nerdsounds.com.
It's DOT.
Yeah, you got to spell it all out. But if you search Nerd Sounds, you'll find me.
Yeah, cool.
All right. That's all I got too. So, hey.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Future podcast listeners, thanks for listening. Hey, what was that country? I won't even mention it because I can't remember the country. I was gonna give them props because we used to be on their like TV review Apple charts all the time. No,
we were pretty big in New Zealand.
We were number one in New Zealand for a little bit, but there's others.
That's because we haven't name checked Taika Waititi. By the way, he's everywhere. I see Korg everywhere. Korg. I heard Korg in the Loki intro.
Korg and Deadpool were hanging out together
I seen that. It's weird.
Talk about a Ryan Reynolds movie for whatever reason.
Right.
Ryan Reynolds Taika Waititi movie. It's weird.
Oh, that's right. He's in that.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Listen, he's great, and we like New Zealand.
I do like New Zealand.
Like Korg. Looks like he's got 4 hands, and 2 of them have got gloves on. I like him.
That seemed pretty good. Your accent it seemed pretty good. All right. So then, with that,
that's all, folks. you literally did a Porky Pig. You're like a blah 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 blah. That's all, folks.
All right. Bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye bye.